Excellent. We are live to the world. So good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and wherever you are in this world and you're listening to this wonderful podcast. And I've got a wonderful guest today, Mark Bowden, if I pronounced it correctly.
It's close enough. Close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
You're an Englishman living in Canada, which is absolutely awesome. So I'm your host, Jason Cooper. So I'm a sales strategist, sales coach, sales trainer. I help deliver better results. It's all about insightful people, insightful leaders that are gifted in doing something slightly different to the norm. And today my guest is one of those special people that is gifted in the area. You're one of the top behavioral body language experts in the world. So I read on your website and your profiles.
Yeah, I've read the same. I don't quite know how you managed to get to be that, but they tend to feel that whoever they are tend to feel that I might well be that.
I think you're definitely up there because I've did my research in the background and I stumbled across your profile as well as a few other people that you probably know very well in the sphere of language, communication, body language experts, interrogation, and all of that. And you know who they are. And but really, it's all about you. So I just briefly mentioned the Scott Rouse, Greg Hartley, and Chase Hughes, which are your good friends. And you're basically voted the #1 body language professional in the world. People watching this, I'm looking at my second screen just to let you know. So 2 years in a run-in, which is awesome. The most influential persuasive communication techniques to stand out with trust, credibility, and every time they speak, energetic. So you've got a collection and collected array of books, which I'm just going to put underneath here. Winning body language, how guide using body language to stand out with and win trust and gain credibility, which is fundamentally what sales is all about. It's how you can influence people with authority and with trust and respect. So as we know is before you open that big English mouth of mine and yours, they get to grips of you and they make an assessment of you in no time at all. And then you open your mouth and then you might screw it all up or you might help to improve it. So Mark, so tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so Mark Bowden, expert in human behavior and body language, as you've said. I guess a lot of the questions that come into me are, how did you get where you were? A lot of people, watch what I do or watch the behavior panel and they go, how do I do all of that? Well, I started off as a kid just being obsessed with natural history and the way animals moved, especially sea life. I was obsessed with Jacques Cousteau and being under the ocean. And as a kid, I loved to be in rock pools and seeing how aquatic life moved. And it just so happened, as you'll recognize, Jason, being in the UK, that natural history programming on TV is very, very prominent. Great photography, great narration. And so I was a big fan of all the classics of that. Life on Earth was... I
was going to say that. You took that words out of my mouth.
Yeah, so it's a staple. And then, of course, Desmond Morris over here, Man Watching, which became People Watching. Then I, got into another great Englishman, Charles Darwin. So obsessed with biology, but also at the same time really obsessed with visual imagery and fine art. So I went into studying a fine arts degree in specifically performance arts and performing arts. And so I got really obsessed with moving pictures, whether they were live moving pictures, live human beings moving, or on a screen in some way. My obsession is how do those moving pictures influence and persuade people? So not that they do, I mean, we all know they do, but my obsession was exactly how do they do that? And how can you reproduce that process in order to get the results that you want out of other human beings by showing them a moving body of some sort? I got into politics. and influence and persuasion around politics, and then influence and persuasion around business. And so I now work all over the world around influence and persuasion, how to help people stand out, win trust, gain credibility every time they communicate. And my clients would be anything from you know, salespeople. I currently train Zoom, their salespeople, on how to use Zoom. And I've even got leaders of the G7 as my clients as well, and people who are running Fortune 500 companies, and new entrepreneurs and new people to sales. Ultimately, for me, Jason, so when we talk about sales, for me, what that is about is behavioral change. That's all it is, behavioral change. And how do you lead somebody through a behavioral change process? My guess is that person or those people are not buying from you. They don't have your product or service right now. Because if they do, leave them alone. Or if they don't have enough, you need to change their behavior so they have more of it. And there are always, you know, all of us would have what we want if it wasn't for the barriers in the way. And so what I'm looking at is, how do you, through behavioral change, dissolve the barriers that are in the way of people having more of what you wanted them to have, or more of what they want to have? There's my piece on that, Jason.
Wow, that's a big synopsis there. So where do I start from there? So what I would suggest is, how would you first go about that with someone that is new to selling, but new to doing online selling, which is a different realm altogether? Like, we all love face-to-face, and we can all gather a lot from that. But when we're in these little boxes like we are now, what do you notice, and what elements would you say this is the type of thing that you can do, or you should do, or how to set yourself up in the Zoom worlds that we're in, or the webinar worlds that we're in?
Yeah. So look, first of all, whenever you get on Zoom with somebody, regardless of how you are right now, if you're doing behavioral change, you need to know, where are they right now? You need to know what is their current location, whether it's the current, you need to get them into a mindset whereby they're going to start telling you their current location. Now, what do I mean by location? Anything around location. Remember when we started chatting, Jason, before we went live, I asked you where you were in the world right now.
Yeah.
And you told me your physical location, because normally we would meet face to face, let's just say, and I would know where you were physically located, because I'd be located in exactly the same physical place. Now, if I were lost, I'd go, hey, Jason, I'm not sure where I am right now. Where are we? Okay, because I need us to know where we both are. Because when we both know where we are, we can start to locate ourselves in relationship to each other and start to build a relationship together. Now, when it comes to sales, I might then move even further forward, which is to say, where are you right now in this process? How are you thinking right now about, and then I'd name the product, the service, the sales process that we were in, because I want you to tell me where you think you are along the journey to having the thing that I would like you to have, or having the thing that you would like to have. Because if I don't know where you are right now, I can't do behavioral change with you. All my knowledge on human behavior and body language is pointless if I don't get you to tell me where you think you are right now. Because change is about moving somebody from where they are to another place. If they stay where they are, nothing has changed. So first of all, we have to start interviewing the client, you know, whatever you want to call the other person or other people on the other end of the video, to get a sense of where they believe they are right now. And then we might start to think about, well, what have I set up around me in terms of what I want you to think and feel about my location right now? Does that make some sense,
Yeah,
Jason?
no, that makes perfect sense, and I totally understand that. A few years ago, I was at UCD, which is University College Dublin. They had an academic away from, I don't know, San Francisco, wherever he came from. And he was talking about we're in 2D, but he was also talking about 3D, that are three-dimensional. So we have to have something in the background, so people can actually see some sort of three-dimensional aspect of our conversation. And we can see, I can see you got lovely, some good stuff in the background. You got a couch. I can see that. And,
so this for me is about helping people locate you and understand what your value system might be, and therefore whether they can trust you based on the information around you rather than you. So look, you make up what we know about nonverbal communication is that you judge me. Okay. And you judge me mainly based on what you see of me, my behavior and my context. And context is really important, because until your brain unconsciously can understand the context, it doesn't know how to treat my behavior, because my behavior, the same signal could mean many different things in many different contexts. So if I don't show you content, you get confused, you default to a lot of negatives. I'm showing you a lot of context here. In fact, why don't you give me some feedback, Jason? What is this kind of sense of me that you get from the context that you see me in right now?
Well, I can tell you're casual because you've got long hair, and you've got glasses on, which is fine. But I like the way that you're sitting, because the way you're sitting to my left and probably your right is I can see a lot more around you. I can't quite get that beam above the couch. I don't know what it is, but I can see some books that you have. I can see your coffee drinker or your tea drinker. I can see you engaging because you're animated by the body language that you use, but you also use backwards and forwards like that, which gives me the feeling that's in relation to space. Then I've seen you before. You're fairly animated, which is awesome. But I also see the hands that are upwards, which is a sign of trust.
Yeah, absolutely. So great feedback on all of that. So let's pick on a few of those things. Notice the animation as you say it. So this is a 2D representation of a human being, but one that is actually live right now with you. But your brain kind of doesn't fully understand it. It kind of gets it and doesn't get it. And I need to keep reminding you that I'm live right now by animating. And that's a great word, medieval Latin, to mean alive, anima, alive. So how do you know I'm alive right now? Well, I keep moving. If I go back to my early biology, there's an acronym, MERRING, and the M in MERRING. MERRING is one of the systems that you use to get an idea of if something might be alive or not. The M in MERRING stands for movement. If something moves, there is a chance that it is possibly alive, though actually everything in the universe moves all the time, actually. So you'd need to get the other parts of the acronym to understand is something moving. But for our brain, if we see things moving in a specific way, we get the sense of what kind of alive it might be. Is it alive and helpful to us, or is it alive and a risk to us? I keep showing you, yes, a lot of open palm gestures, which help you trust me, because this is a universal signal of no tools, no weapons, nothing in my hands. I also keep showing you quite a lot of baton gestures, which are the gestures that conduct along to the rhythm of my speech. That helps your Broca's area that does language understand what I might be saying and the feeling and intention that it might have. I also keep showing you some descriptor gestures, or what some people might call illustrator gestures. So they illustrate and describe what I might be thinking or feeling. You know, illustrators are things like talking about high and low.
I was going to suggest there, because I can tell by your language, because I was taught by a guy called Paul Mossolinas over here. He's a voice coach. And what he described is how you elongate the language at particular buzzwords or particular words that you want to emphasize and to get across to people. So you did that perfectly. Not only can you emphasize them sonically, but you can emphasize them with your gestures, with things like these baton gestures or these illustrators, which will help describe what's going on. So there's lots going on there to engage your eye contact, because here's the and let me bring in this thing of how I keep leaning forward, and you just leant forward with me as I did that as well. So you're already mirroring these behaviors. Now I'm now in
I would say certainly personal, maybe even intimate space with you right now.
Well, let me go a little bit more intimate.
Yeah. Now we're both very much in intimate space right now. If we were meeting for the first time in a physical space together, it would take me quite a while to move into this relationship with you. So you only really do this with people who you know fairly well and you trust really well. But on camera, I can do it immediately with you, which again triggers your brain into what we would call quick set intimacy, where it feels like, because of the physical relationship that is really an illusion for it.
Notice your tone going down a little bit as well, because you're going into more of an intimate space. And the tone goes right down to a pace, and you actually slower the rhythm of your voice as well as you go into it as well, which I can really understand. But then if I went back, what would happen then?
Well, if you did that quite immediately, okay, so it was a big change. Now, notice how you just lent in because I'm using this quiet voice. So your brain went, hang on, though, he's talking to me intimately. I must move forward. So yeah, I might lower my voice even more in an intimate way. And notice how I'm doing this gesture here to get you to lean back in.
Reeling me back in.
What I might do instead is, because it's such a big dramatic change, you going like this, is I might go, hey, let me just stop talking for one moment. What are you thinking right now about what we're talking about? How are you feeling about it? Give me some feedback on that. So because it was such a dramatic change, I'd start an interview process with you to try and get an idea of what's going on specifically in your head right now, thoughts and feelings and intentions that may have caused that change, because something significant has happened. If you do that. I don't know what it is. Nobody knows. I'm not a mind reader. So if you suddenly went like that, I might go, hang on, let me just stop one moment. Where are you right now in this process? What are you thinking? So I ask a really clear, direct question that won't get a yes or no answer, that will get a description, again, of your current location. Remember what I said. Where are you right now in this process? I'm asking for location.
So when you like that, and when I'm doing that, how would you teach people to do that? Because it's easy for you because you can pick it up in a heartbeat. But for other people that are just learning this, it's like a big steep climb. So what would you do initially to get them to understand it, to feel it, see it, and then actually do it? So how long does it normally take for someone to really go, bang, got it?
So first of all, you teach them not to read body language. Okay. First of all, you go, stop looking out for these minute details. Leave that to other people. What I'm doing is actually I'm looking down the camera at you, and I have you in my peripheral vision right now. Now, my peripheral vision is designed to pick up notable movement. Anything that is big enough is a drastic change. The peripheral vision is designed to pick up change. It's pretty much black and white. It doesn't do good focus or detail, but it does detect movement. And so any big movement, my brain will go, hang on, what's happening there? Okay. And so I can see you nodding your head up and down there, but I'm not seeing any of your facial features, right? I saw it again just then. Okay. But I'm not seeing any facial features because I'm not worried about that. I don't want to care about that right now. I want to look for enough of a change that it triggers my peripheral vision that I would then go, hang on, stop talking and find out what's going on. Because if I can keep getting your location, I can start to steer you from where you are right now to where I want you to be, or where you want to be, or where we both want you to be. So does that kind of make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense to me, and I really understand it. Another thing that like I've learned is that to have a look at the IQs, but the IQs in an NLP form is up, down, left, right, and it means visual orientation. But there's so much more going on. I don't know whether it is 100% there, but like if you look to the right, you're recalling information. If you look to the left, I think I probably got it around the wrong way. But
sure, it's pretty complicated.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm getting myself complicated here.
Is that you already don't quite know what you're talking about. And so if you don't have a simple enough model, you can't work in the moment. It's too complex. Okay. Now, the issue is that eye accessing, that NLP stuff, it's good, it's interesting, it's kind of helpful because it makes you observant, but the model is really complex and it's not truly accurate. You need to baseline the individual, which means you're going to have to get skilled at that, and you're going to have to pay attention to that. I would suggest, again, steer away from that stuff. Too complex. I want to know, did any significant changes happen that are big enough that my instinct gets alerted, that it will stop me and go, hang on, check back in with that person. Where are they right now? Okay. Are they, you know, when I create a rhythm, are they rhythmically in with me, or do they, like you're just doing right now? Okay. Or are they not? Because I can do that in my peripheral vision. I can nod my head and I can look down the camera and I can see in my peripheral vision, are you nodding along with me? And if you don't seem to be doing that movement, my brain is able to consciously go, check back in with them, check where they are right now. Body language, the way I use nonverbal communication in terms of reading it, I use it as an excuse to talk to the person, to find out where they are right now, what's happening for them. And I use it as a way to influence and persuade them to show them the location I'd like them to be in and see if they'll follow me there. So I'm constantly checking, are you coming along with me to the location we want to go to? And what location are you in right now?
So what's the really good thing to do to show immediate trust? Because we know that 5 seconds, then you get there and go, what do you have to do that? What are the key signs?
So in this virtual world, eye contact. In this virtual world, strong, direct eye contact, because it's
right into the camera.
Look down the camera, because it's very safe in this environment. You're safe in your home right now. If I gave you up this close, this prolonged eye contact, and we were in a cafe together, a restaurant, your office, it would start to get to get a little bit weird for you. In this environment, it's not, because your body and brain know that you are located physically somewhere else right now. So one of the things I'm doing to make sure I get good eye contact with you is I put this smiley face behind my camera, because again, this triggers my instinct. You see what happens to your instinct when you just see that image there? You start to smile and you lock in on the eyes, and you had that that instinct develop in you really early on when you were an infant. So I stick that behind there because it attracts my eye contact up here. I bring your image right next to the camera here, so I can see you in my peripheral vision. So again, I can see you nodding along with me right now. So you did it.
So what about posture? What about posture? So how could you come across in if I went like that and all that? Obviously, there was either something wrong with my back, or I'm maybe not as engaged as they should be.
I would see that deflation. You know, you did that. Basically, you did that by deflating your lungs. We use our lungs as a support system, and we're either inspired or expired. Okay, so when somebody is inspired, they have inspiration. They're breathing in, and the lungs are predominantly expanded. They're more upright. Yes, it takes some back muscles to do it, and I can actually I'm just going to loosen my back muscles. Still hard for me to deflate unless I do that, and then I collapse. Okay. So we call that expired, just like happens with your credit card. When it expires, you don't have any power. You have no spending power. It's the same for human beings. When they expire, their power is going, because they're going to be delivering, out more carbon dioxide than oxygen that's coming in there. Their respiratory system is not working. There'll literally be less adenosine triphosphate going to their brain. The brain will spark less, for want of a better metaphor. So at this point, when I see deflation or expiration, then I'm gonna, again, I don't know what it's about. I'm not a mind reader, but I can use that nonverbal cue to go, so let me just stop talking there. You know, what are you thinking about this at the moment? So again, I look down the camera and I ask a direct question. What are you thinking about this at the moment? Now, let me show you that, remind you of the thing that I wasn't definite about. This is not, you know, what does this mean? Well, I want to know. I want to know as much information as possible. So I'm not going to narrow you down. I'm going to go this, but I will narrow you down on the timeline, which is at the moment. I will narrow it down as to who I'm talking to. You know, what are you thinking about this at the moment? Some things are really clear and definite, and some things are like, I don't care what you talk about right now. Sometimes when I do that with a client, they'll go, what do you mean about what's happening at home right now? And I'll go, yeah, exactly. So I will take from them anything that they're willing to tell me. Here's why, because I want to know where they are right now. If I know where they are, I can move them somewhere else.
I'm sorry, I'm jumping in because I'm getting excited. So you can probably tell that. But describing an opportunity with a client, you know, you're never supposed to belittle a competitor as an example.
Yeah, sure.
Or you're supposed to big yourself up with what you're doing, as well as you know, how you talk about the competition.
Yeah.
So how would you get over that? And what could you do with sounding incredibly authentic when you actually speak, but you're not putting down the competition, but you're behaving in a way that linguistically you are, but body language you are as well.
Yeah. So okay, let's put it this way. Usually, when somebody doesn't have your product or service, they either don't have any of those products or services, or they already have a competitive product or service. Okay, would that be fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my first question: is so what provoked you to have this meeting with me today?
So I can understand what you do. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing: is that if you ask that in a sales situation, what provoked you to have this meeting with me today? Why did you decide to have this meeting with me today? It helps me understand why you don't already have what you need. Because if you already have a competitive product and service, my only question is like, what's up? What's up?
Yeah.
What's wrong? Okay. If you don't have any of this product or service, my question is still like, what's up? You're an intelligent human being. Why haven't you bought it yet? If you already have a similar product or service, you're an intelligent human being. What is up with it? Like, why talk to me today? That is my only question, is like, what is up for you? What's the barrier in your life? Where are you located right now that means you have a barrier around this? So look, if I ask you, so let's deal with this idea of don't talk bad of the competition. Well, great, we'll talk good of them, okay? And I'm going to let you talk good of them, okay? And I would just say, what do you like most about what you already have? Okay. Now I know you will answer that question because I asked you to create a hierarchy. Yeah. And your brain loves to create hierarchy. So what do you like? What are you? So I was talking to you. I wasn't saying, what is the organization? What does Gartner research tell you about what you should choose? Okay. I'm going, what do you like most about what you already have? You will answer that question. You'll go, well, we're liking this, or we're liking this, and we're liking this. And I'll go, okay, that's good. What else? I will keep you talking, because your brain can only stay positive for a certain amount of time. And then it'll go, well, we like this and we like this, and this is going really well. And this is a super great feature. So we're having a problem with, you will tell me the problem and the barrier you're experiencing. And I will have agreed with all of the things that you liked, and I'm going to start agreeing with all of the things you dislike. And I'm going to carry on my process, which is every time you told me something you like, I say, okay, good. What else? Tell me more. When you start telling me negative stuff, I'm going to say, what else? Tell me more. And you will go down a spiral of like, this stuff doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then listen, I'm going to just help you get yourself out of this problem. I'm going to say, so I understand that this isn't working for you and this isn't working for you. Just curious, what are you thinking of doing about that? So I'm going to get you to tell me, I'm going to get you to prove to me that you really want to hear from me and there is an opportunity for me. I'm not going to dance in front of you and go, here's my specs. Here's why my specs are better than their specs. Yeah. Here's why our service is better than their service. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get you to do that. Like, you can do all the work. You're the person with the problem. You're the person who hasn't managed to get the product and service that they need right now. You're the person who accepted my invitation or asked for the invitation to talk about this. It's your fault. Okay, so you need to help me get you out of this one. Okay, and if you don't want out of it, I can't help you. Does that make some sense?
I'm actually, how many can I have?
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, how many do you need? What's the issue?
That's funny. I like that. That's I love the way that you got into that straight away, because I thought you might go somewhere else, but no, I love that response.
No, mate, you do the work. I'm not going to do the calculation of how many you can have. That's like work for me. It's like, you prove to me that you need any of them. You know?
Tell me this: if you had a superpower and you only had it for 5 minutes, what would you use it for, and how would you use it, and where would you use it?
So I've only got 5 minutes, and it's
based on a movie that's on Netflix. So it's really a pill that you drop, and all of a sudden your DNA is converted, but you just go boom, and you've only got 5 minutes of it.
God, you know what? I can't answer you that because I would have to do, look, I think there's a couple of answers. The one simple answer, the simplest answer, though it's a terrible answer, is like, I would like that kind of superpower to fly, because that must be an incredible feeling. I've had dreams about being able to fly, as a human being. That must be incredible. But I'm not too good with heights, so I don't think I'd use it in any great capacity. And I don't know, and it certainly wouldn't do any good for anybody else. And I'm not sure it would do any good for me, because I'd be like, ooh, this is a bit weird. I would really like to experience that thing, because I've dreamt about it a whole bunch of times. That would be amazing. It feels really scary. And so then there's a better answer, which I'm sure is the answer that most people try and give. It's like,
I like the first one. I like
here's how I'd help humanity around this. Well, look, I need to really make this work. I would have to go away for a longer period of time to work out, what the real problem is here, that I could do the most good with what superpower in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to the.
That's good. Everyone gets thrown off.
Most people want to give in order to be, give the impression of really caring about humanity and being super authentic and having integrity. So that's my first answer, which is purely selfish and fun, and even I would fail at using it really well, because I know I don't like the height, the height thing particularly. Be quite. I
suppose you get used to it after a while, though, wouldn't you?
I've only got 5 minutes.
Well, you might go
how
up.
am I going to get used to it in 5? Well, I'm going to go 40,000 feet. I mean, I would have no oxygen up there, but I'm going to go. Am I really going to get myself to 20,000 feet and have a good time in 5 minutes? I mean, I might float down the street, at kind of 10 feet.
I've had dreams of doing that, floating like that and going down the street like that. I've had loads of dreams like that.
No, well, I've had the same. But you know what I do? You know what I do? Side of my house, we've got a kind of a, well, what we'd call guttering to us English. Yeah. They call it something else in North America. And it constantly gets leaves stuck in it, and it needs fixing. And like hardly anybody will go up. Even the guys whose job it is, they're like, we're not going up there. It's like because we've got a thin alleyway and they can't really put the ladder at a really decent angle for them. And they're like, they go, oh, you got to put up scaffold and stuff. I'd be like,
it's a DIY thing.
And dealing with it. I'd be dealing with that. There'd be no help
to
humanity.
Use that as a DIY thing.
Sorry, say that again.
You could use that as a DIY thing. So you float up to the gutters and you clean it out, and that's your 5 minutes done.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's my 5 minutes done. Cleaned out the gutters for that year.
And you get a big brownie point.
No humanity whatsoever.
No.
But a job that, frankly, really needs doing.
Well, we had ours done last week. It cost 125 euros for them 5 minute job. So you know, 5 minutes. That's all you need.
Exactly. Well, the guys, they won't even go up. They're like, we're not going up that high at that angle. We're not doing it.
So tell me this. Congratulations for winning the YouTube trophy. Where is it? Have you got it there?
There you go.
I can't quite see it. I saw it on one of your YouTube clips. And what was that for?
That's 100,000 subscribers, which we now have, I think 150,000 or so. You know, we're getting about 25,000 subscribers a month, like that. That's the
link down on there. But in
thank you for that. Yeah, the behavior panel.
But this is going to be thrown out through all audio channels like Spotify and stuff like that. So it's YouTube.com/. If you just search for the behavior panel,
just go to thebehaviorpanel.com. Thebehaviorpanel.com. Behavior is spelt the American way. I don't know what you can get a bit confusing. Yeah. That's, you know, three of us are in the US, and I'm in Canada. So we spell it in Canada the American way.
Actually, you know, tomato, you know, we'll all get there eventually. So,
we're all friends.
So, how can people find out more about you?
Yeah, so very easy. Go to truthplane.com. Truthplane.com, TRUTHPLANE, truthplane.com, or just put Mark Bowden, Mark with a K, BOWDEN, into Google search engine, and up I will come.
And you have some wonderful books out there, and I haven't read any of them, but I've read.
Don't bother. You just listen and watch this. There's plenty of
that's good enough.
But if you do want to pick any of them, go for Truth and Lies, What People Are Really Thinking, by myself and co-author Tracy Thompson, which is a book on critical thinking disguised as a book on reading body language. It's got all the stuff that you'd really like about reading body language, but really what it's about is how to think better and more clearly about other people.
That sounds awesome. It's just completely up my street. I do about 3 or 4 books a month. So, and I love to learn and grow. So this is my MBA. So every time I speak to some wonderful guests like yourself, I learn. And I learn and grow, and then I can help other people. You've been absolutely wonderful today on this show. I've learned loads, and I found it absolutely phenomenal. So you've been listening to Mark Bowden, who's got some wonderful books out there. Please buy them. It's Is it Black Friday today?
It's Black Friday today. Yeah. So get yourself onto Amazon and see if they're cheaper. They may well be. They may well be.
Are you in Audible as well? Are you in Audible as well?
I think Audible is. I think Tame the Primitive Brain is on Audible. I think somebody is recording Truth and Lies at the moment. We've got one of the actors who plays animated Superman.
Oh wow!
Who's reading Truth and Lies? There you go. And I think Win Body Language might be in audio as well.
So we've got lots of wonderful things about yourself. You're also on Twitter. You're also on Instagram. You're on LinkedIn as well. You're all over the place on social media. So thank you so much today. You've been listening to Jason Cooper, the Global Sales Leader podcast. It's available on all of those things below, Spotify, YouTube. If you like what you hear, and I'm sure you're going to love it, please subscribe. Share it around with your friends, people that want to know and understand a little bit more about this wonderful subject that we have. And thank you so much.